Welcome to Next Radio with Broadcast Bionics, innovative solutions for creative people.
Hello there, great to be here today. This is something a little bit different, although from what I've heard so far, it does touch on some of the ideas I've heard around creating pictures in your mind and creativity. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is some of the principles around how to remember anything, using techniques called creative memorization. Now, creative memorization is actually quite simple, but what it allows us to do is literally memorize information or anything we want quicker, and more importantly, retain that information over a long period of time. So there's three techniques I'd like to share with you today. The first technique is called a memory network. Now, what a memory network allows you to do is literally take whatever you would like to remember and remember it in a sequence. The second technique, something which I hope will be useful to lots of people, is the ability to remember names. James is going to help me with that one later. I'm looking forward to that one. And the last technique I'm going to share with you is, again, a simple technique, but very, very effective, and it's called the chain method. And what we're going to try to do, all of us in this room, is remember some of the talks you've seen and heard today at Next Radio. I'm sure it's all going to go swimmingly. So before we do that, I always like to start with a little demonstration. So, in the front row, can you see this number up here? Can you read all the numbers? Fantastic. What's your name?
Ian.
Ian. Hello, Ian. Nice to meet you. Ian, what I'd like to do, so 2 nights ago, I spent some time, like you do, memorizing a 200-digit number. I don't get that much. And so what I'd like to do, Ian, rather than go 200 digits, I'll put you to sleep if I do that, or some kind of trance. Could you just give me any row? And what I will attempt to do is recite the 20 digits in that row. Ian?
7.
7. You sure you want 7?
7.
You don't want 5? Okay, 7. Okay, here we go. 7. Just let me find where 7 is. There's 6. And there's 7. Okay, here we go. Check that I get this right. We have 1, 8, 5, 0, 0, 8, 4, 5, 2, 4, 0, 6, 0, 1, 7, 8, 7, 4, 7, 7.
Spot on.
It's always good when that works. I was going to do it backward, but I thought that's too flash. Okay, so the first technique we're going to look at is, there we are, memory networks. So memory networks, they are a really simple technique, but are highly effective. And what they allow us to do is memorize information in a sequence. Now, to give you a bit of an insight how this works, creative memorization is very simple. You basically use your imagination and association. And how that works in real terms is you take the information that you'd like to remember and you turn it into pictures, images. And then you use your creativity to associate those images together in your mind. Now, all of you here have excellent visual and sensory memories. Therefore, you remember pictures, so you remember the information. So we are going to try and put this into practice. Could I have house lights, please? House lights would be great. So, but to do this, I'm going to need a volunteer. So could I just have a show of hands? Anyone here who thinks they have a really bad memory? Just stick your hands in the air. Stick your hands there. Oh, straight away. Can you go up here, sir? Give around the block. Thank you very much. What's your name? Matt. Matt. Nice to meet you, Matt. Great stuff, isn't it? Right, Matt, you can stand here and just face the front. Now, all you have to do is relax and imagine whatever I say to you in your mind as clear as you can. And you can play along with this. Matt is going to memorize 10 items in sequence. Yes? Let me ask you a question, Matt. What's the biggest thing you've ever forgotten?
My girlfriend's birthday.
Excellent.
But only by day.
Just by day. Day is not bad. Okay, so 10 items. Now, just imagine what I say to you in your mind. Here goes, 10 items in sequence. So, I want you to imagine, on your feet is a gigantic bomb. Can you see the bomb? Really see it in your mind, and it explodes. Boom! There it goes. You see that? Okay, next I would like you to imagine there's lots of balloons attached to your knees, and they're different colours, and maybe your knees start to float up into the air. So there you go, balloons on your knees. Next one, I would like you to imagine a gigantic green leaf, which is really sticky. And I'm going to throw this leaf on your thighs. I'm going to wrap it around your thighs. Well, you can do that yourself, yeah. Imagine wrapping that leaf around your thighs. The next one is a bumblebee. I would like you to associate that in some way to your behind. You do that on yourself. You get your emotions involved and your senses. Okay, there's a bumblebee in your behind. The next one, I have a gigantic drill. And I'm going to take this drill and I'm going to start boring a hole into your side. Like as an image. You can see that drill? There it is.
Okay.
That's it. Matt, what is your favourite car?
I quite like the old Renault 4.
Renault 4?
Yeah.
Nice choice. Imagine there's a Renault 4
Yeah.
driving. What colour is it?
It's red.
It's red. There's a red Renault 4 driving around your chest. Super speed, really, really fast. Can you see that? Fantastic. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I can. Imagine there's 2 sticks of dynamite stuck to either side of your neck. So a little bit like Frankenstein, 2 sticks of dynamite, yeah?
Right.
There it is. Imagine you're wearing a gigantic oxygen mask, and I just want to suck that oxygen, just breathe it in, there it is, and it's blue oxygen mask, fantastic. Imagine I take a big tube of toothpaste and I put toothpaste all over your hair. There's toothpaste all over your hair there. And finally, last one, which is about that, there's neon lights on the ceiling, and it says the word Matt. Yeah, neon lights. There we go. Let's test it out. You can play along with it. Let's see how we go.
Okay.
What is on your feet?
It's a big bomb.
Excellent.
It blows up.
Superb. What's on your knees?
Lots of balloons.
Lots of balloons. What's on your thighs?
The leaf that you're insisting you wrap around
Excellent.
me.
Yes. What is on your behind?
The bee.
Yes. Good, good. What's on your side?
The drill.
Superb. What's on your chest?
A red rifle. Going around
Yes.
rifle.
What's on your neck?
The 2 sticks of dynamite.
Superb. What's on your face?
The blue oxygen mask.
Fantastic. What's on your hair?
It's all toothpaste.
Excellent. And finally, what's on the ceiling?
My name and lights.
There you go. Now the thing is, Matt will remember those 10 images, not just for the next hour, you can test them at lunch, but not just tomorrow, but 1 week from now, a month from now, even 3 months from now, but in at one time. Apologies. And they will be stuck there forever. This is one of the most powerful things about memory techniques. Feel free to bring the house lights down. And the thing about this technique is you can make these memory networks up yourself. There's actually an ancient Greek technique. They used to call it the art of memory. And they would use things that they would call the method of Loki. Or in the Romans' times, it was the Roman room method. Or you may have heard of the memory palace. And it's basically, you create a sequence and you store stuff there. So you might use items in a room, locations along a journey, etc. And you can memorize up to hundreds, thousands of things. That's how I memorized a number. Each number was a picture, and I had each picture associated with a place, person. Okay, James, would you like to help me out in this next thing that I'm going to do here?
What happens if I say no?
Right, we'll see. I'd just like to stand there, James. This face in front. So names. Very, very interesting. Anyone have a problem with remembering names? Yeah? James. You have to memorize the first 20 people. No. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through the process of how you can remember a name. And you can play this right now. Just if you don't know the person sitting next to you, you can try this out. You can find out what the name is, and we're going to create some pictures. But the thing is about remembering names is a lot of it is about conditioning yourself before you meet someone. What you're going to do. So 2 things that I tend to think about. 1, notice where you are. So right now we're in the magic circle, and later on, if I didn't know James and I met him later, let's say in a week's time, the fact that I can remember this place might help me remember your name. The next thing that I do, and this is the thing that you don't tell the person, is you exaggerate something about their face. So you take it in before you meet them, you go, what feature might I exaggerate? I create a little caricature in my mind. Yeah, so you definitely don't tell them that. And then you're set up, you're conditioned. I go over, hello, nice to meet you. My name's Mark. What's your name?
James.
James, fantastic. Nice to meet you, James. I've done 2 things. 1, I've listened. really important, really obvious, but most people don't. They'll hear the name, it's like, oh, what was it? Oh, I'll ask later. No, I'll just leave it. And the other thing that I've done is I've created a picture for the name James. Because I've met lots of James in my time, including James, the picture I have is Jam. So Jam is my picture. So what I now do is I take the feature I've exaggerated, I won't tell you what it was, and I stick it to James. And so Jam, let's just say for example, it was James's hair, he's looking very slick today, he might be taking jam and brushing it through his hair. Now that memory will stick out in my mind, I won't forget it. So the next time I meet James, hello, it's James, I see the jam, I remember his name. Now, that's not the end of it, because once I get to know James, I don't need a picture anymore. I just know that this is James. This went into my long-term memory. So this technique is more of a bridge. It bridges the gap until you actually get to know someone. But it's really powerful. Well, I think we've got coffee after this, so go play with it, go practice out. Thank you very much, James. Thank you very much. Okay, the final technique I'm going to share with you. This goes back, again, a couple of thousand years. It's called the chain method. And with the chain method, we basically take a bunch of pictures and we connect them together to form a chain. So what we're going to attempt to do, and we're all going to attempt to do this in the room, is remember the last 5 talks and the 5 talks we're about to see after coffee. Now, all we really need to do this is have one picture that represents each talk. So in effect, all you're going to remember is 10 pictures. So for example, if we think about lessons from prison radio, fantastic talk, I love that one. You might just imagine a prison. So the fact that I can see a picture of a prison reminds me prison radio. Next we had law for content creators. So for that I might think, oh, what picture can I use? Maybe a lawyer. So a lawyer, law for content creators. Then we had, brilliant talk, how we send Benedict Cumberbatch into space. And so for that, we just have Benedict Cumberbatch. Do you get the idea? So basically, you're making one picture to represent each talk. Now, your natural memory will let you remember lots of facts about that talk and bring you back to that point. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you a story. It's a bizarre story. It makes no sense. That's okay. What you have to do is imagine this story in your mind as clear as you can. You ready? So everyone just imagine this. Imagine there is a big, dark prison. Inside the prison is a lawyer. He's trying to get out. Along comes Benedict Cumberbatch. He breaks them out of prison. He flies off into space. Now, Benedict Cumberbatch is wearing an advert. It's like one of those big placards. Now, this ad falls off and it lands on the back of an elephant. The elephant has a very long trunk and it wraps itself around an android. The android is reading a very large story. He takes a story and he throws it at a prep student. The prep student is licking a big tub of butter. He takes the butter and he smears it all over a big radio with pictures. Okay, do it again. I'm going to do it 2 more times, a little bit quicker this time. Imagine it in your mind. You might jump ahead of me. There's a big prison. Inside is a lawyer trying to escape. Along comes Benedict Cumberbatch. He breaks him out. He flies off into space. He's wearing an ad. The ad falls off and lands on the back of an elephant. The elephant is grabbing an android. The android has a very large story. He takes a story and throws it at the head of a prep student. The prep student is licking a large tub of butter, takes the butter, smears it over a radio with pictures. Last time, I'm just going to say the main items. Follow along with me. Prison, lawyer, Benedict Cumberbatch, space, ad, elephant, android, story, prep, butter, radio. Now this has worked. You will all know those 10 pictures. So we're going to try it out. What I'm going to ask you to do is shout out as loud as you can the pictures in sequence. This usually works really well. No pressure. Okay, I will cue you. When I do this, you say the first one, and then I'll cue you for each one. Are you ready? Here we go. And.
Listen.
Lawyer.
Space.
Yes.
Elephants.
Good.
Story.
What was that one?
Story.
Story. Good.
Practice.
Prep. Good.
Butter.
Yes.
Radio.
Oh, well done. Give yourself a clap. So basically, those three techniques you can pretty much use for anything. We've done some simple things there. Actually, the 10 things we did at the beginning, they were elements of the periodic table. Hydrogen was actually a hydrogen bomb. We had helium balloons. We had leaves for lithium, a little bit tenuous. We had a B for beryllium. You had boring a hole, boron. We had a car for carbon. You had dynamite. I was thinking nitroglycerin, so nitrogen. You had oxygen. You had fluorine, like toothpaste, and neon. So there was actually some real information there. Yeah, this our way. Maybe not the most interesting of this, but you get the point. You get the picture. So you can apply this technique to anything, and for everyone else, it's different. That's all from me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm around in lunchtime. You want to come and grab me and ask me questions and find out how to remember anything else.
Thank you.